In this lesson on statistics, we're going to talk about statistics that are divided into two different parts. One is descriptive statistics, which is collecting, organizing, and summarizing numerical facts, which are called data. And then inferential is involved in making inference or decisions based on the data. We're basically going to talk about descriptive statistics. So one type of statistic is called the measure of center. And I believe you've done this in Algebra 1, a little bit last year in Algebra 2, and so on. But our main measures of center, and these are basically called averages, are the mean. And the mean is defined as the sum of the data divided by the number of items. For example, if I had this set of data, I asked you to find the mean of these. You would add them up. So in this case, I've got 11 and 14 is 25 is the sum. I would divide by 5 because there are 5 numbers in the set. The median is the middle number when arranged, which is very important when the numbers are arranged in increasing or decreasing order. So for example, in the set of numbers we just talked about, there are 5 numbers. There is an exact middle, and that middle would be 5, and that would be the median. If numbers are in increasing order, and there's not an exact middle, so in this case there are 6 numbers, the exact middle would be right here between the 7 and the 10. I would average those two. And in this case, the mean would be 8.5 or 8.5. The median would be the average of the two numbers in the middle. The mode is an item that occurs most often. You can have more than one, or you can have none of these. For example, in this particular set of 5 numbers, the mode would be 7 because 7 occurs twice. In this particular set of numbers, there would not be a mode. There can also be multiple modes. So if I had this set of numbers, then 5 and 2 would be considered modes. In the next slide here, I'm talking about home runs hit by Maris and Ruth, famous New York Yankees. And I'm showing this in what's called a stem, and these middle numbers are called the stems, and then the leaves. These would be your stem and your leaves. So as far as Maris on the left-hand side, this represents that in one season, he would have had 8 home runs, because the 0 is the 10 spot. This would represent the numbers 13, 14, and 16. And then we'd have 23, 24, or 26, 28, 33, 39, and 61. So if in this example, as far as the home runs hit by Maris, you could find the mean, you could add them all up and divide by 10 seasons that Roger Maris played. There are 10 numbers, there's not an exact middle, so the median would be the average of 23 and 26, which would be 24.5. Mode, in this case, there would not be a mode. There's no number that is twice. Okay, and on the Ruth side, he's had seasons of 22, 25, 34, 35, 41, 41, 46, he did 3 times, 47, 49, 54, 54, and 59 and 60. So you can see this is a good way of showing a lot of data in an organized fashion. It's called a stem and a leaf plot. So looking at the list for Roger Maris, which is in red down below, we've got our median right here. Our median would be 24.5. The first quartile or lower quartile would be the median of these 5 numbers, which 14 would be your first quartile. And then on the other end, the third quartile or upper quartile would be the median of these 5 numbers, which would be the 33. Since it's split up, we are counting each of the numbers in one of the sets. Now, if you look at the Ruth list has 6, 11, 15 different sets of data. So the median would be the 8th number. So this 46 right here would be your median. Since that's an actual number in the set, your first quartile would be the median of the 7 numbers less than that. And the median of the 7 numbers would be the 4th number, which is 35. That would be your first quartile. And on the other end, there's 7 numbers more than that median, and so your third quartile would be 54. Okay, the IQR of this set would be 54 take away 35, which would be 19. The IQR of the set of Roger Maris's home run seasons would be 33 take away 14. That's also 19. And the IQR is what's called a measure of spread. I'm going to stop this video and I will create another one with the remaining bits of information. Here's one showing the ages of presidents, since there's several of these, and these are the first 43 presidents. Okay. A little trivia here, if you could tell me who the 44th president of the United States was, send that out on Schoology, or any other presidents that we've had after the 43rd. So you can see there are several different ones here, so it's easy to break these up. So these 2 numbers represent anything from 40 to 44, and this would represent all of them from 45 to 49. These would be from 50 to 54, and then 55 to 59. So it's a good way when you have several numbers to kind of split those up a little bit. Definition of quartiles. Quartiles, the first quartile, which is also called the lower quartile, is determined by the median of all the numbers lower than the actual median. And you do not count the actual median. And we'll do an example of the Ruth Maris in just a little bit. The third quartile is just on the upper side, also called the upper quartile. It's determined by the median of all the numbers greater than the actual median. And we have something called the IQR. Stands for interquartile range. Interquartile range. That's simply the third quartile minus the first quartile. So let's go back